Imagine two people, person A, person B. Let's call person A Timmy, and let's call person B Timothy. Timmy grew up in pretty average. He's an average student, he has an average family, he lives in an average part of the world, but he feels like the world owes him something. He feels that the world is against him, that every time he doesn't get what he wants, whether it's in life, in business, in relationships, that somehow the world is conspiring against him. He feels helpless. He feels unable to do anything to get out of the rut that he's in. And the more that he feels unable to do something about his situation, the deeper he falls into that rut. And eventually, 5 years, 10 years down the line, he finds himself in a worse position than when he started. He's unable to look at his life from a position of strength, and he looks at all of the misfortunes, all of the disadvantages, all of the bad things that have happened to him as somehow divine fate, as if the world has conspired against him, as if God or whatever it may be has put him down on purpose because he is the one to be discarded. Then we look at person B, we look at Timothy. Timothy grew up in a bad neighborhood. He grew up with unloving parents. He grew up with massive disadvantages. He's poor. He didn't have any of the resources that Timothy had. But on the flip side, he recognized that though these were the cards that he was dealt, and no matter how weak these cards were, he decided to play his hand. He decided to say, fuck it, let's actually go and let's make the most out of these cards. And what he did was he distanced himself from the people that were putting him down. He focused on getting his life in order by getting a job, maybe building his skills, maybe being more outgoing, and little by little he took what little he had, what small things that were working in his favor, and he made something more out of them. And he took that something more and he kept stacking the deck in his favor until 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, he found himself with a business that he was happy with, that he felt joy from, that he felt a sense of purpose, a community that he could look up to, that he could rely on, a relationship that he could be a part of, and people that he genuinely enjoyed having the time or spending time around. These same people, let's just say one of them might have even had a better start in life, but they had drastically different outcomes. If person A sounds like you, well, this episode is for you. And if person B sounds like someone you'd like to be, well, this episode is also for you. Accountability. What is accountability, and why does this mean that you should stop playing the victim in your life, and that playing the victim in life, although that might feel like something that gives you soothing comfort in the moment, is something that down the line you build up and you build a tolerance to, and effectively it can tear down your life. So on today's episode, we're looking at accountability and how to take accountability for your life so that you can stop playing the victim, so that even if you have the very littlest, the least amount of advantages in your deck, that you can stack them in your favor so that you can move forward in life on all fronts. The Stoics were huge on taking accountability on one's actions. Seneca is famous for quoted to be saying that it is not events in life that disturb us, but our opinions on these events. Taking accountability can enhance all areas of your life, especially when it comes to the things that are meaningful for you. Let's put business, for example. When you're able to take accountability in business, in your life, in your financial career, you all of a sudden take the keys to the vehicle that's running your life and you put yourself in the driver's seat. You're no longer relying on someone external to you, whether it's an employer, whether it's a grant, whether it's a loan, to provide you with financial prosperity. You understand that financially or career-wise, you may not be in the position that you want because you've lacked the gusto to make the moves that you need to. You've lacked the energy. You've lacked the ability to drive forward, to build up the right skills, to make the right connections, to go through the painful moments in your ups and your downs in your business career, to say, despite these ups and downs, I'm willing to go through the storm to find myself on the other side, to actually get the things that I want. When you are accountable for your shortcomings, no matter how many they are, no matter how many people tell you what your shortcomings are, you don't take that as a reason to shy away from the challenge that's in front of you. You take these shortcomings as opportunities to work on yourself and to get better and to improve. So this is the difference between person A and person B. When person A sees his shortcomings in front of him, he immediately takes that as a reason to stop. He's unable to handle the heat and the pressure. Versus person B looks at these shortcomings as a reason to get better. And he sees it as a golden opportunity as to what has prevented him from moving forward. And now he has the keys to unlock the problems that he's facing and to move forward from them. At its core, Stoicism encourages us to always admit our faults, to always be willing to take in constructive criticism and to always be willing to strive to improve ourselves. With these 3 key principles, we find ourselves never in a position of ego. We're unwilling to accept the fact that we are faulty human beings and that we will surely make mistakes. No matter what your position is, no matter what your title is, no matter what your net worth is, no matter how attractive you think you are, no matter how successful you think you are, you can always get better. You can always have a sense of humility to listen to someone else, no matter what their position is, and to say, I can learn something from this person. Sure, I need to be willing to open my ears and to be willing to take in any feedback, any criticism, and to be able to discern, is this something that I can use to push me forward, or is this something that is not coming from the right place? It's a fine balance between being able to take criticism and allow it to propel you forward, or allow it to crush you. As Epictetus famously quotes, he says, "It is not what happens to you that matters, but how you react to it." In life, many things are going to happen that are outside of your control. Horrible things that you would never wish even potentially on your worst enemy. But such is life. There are many things that are out of our control. In that scenario, we have 2 choices. Either we can choose to roll over and accept the fate of what has just happened and to allow it to destroy us, or we can look at this as an opportunity, as grist for the mill, as a way for us to get better, as fuel to the fire that is lighting our energy, our life, and allowing us to move forward with energy and gusto. You should be able to hold yourself accountable in all areas of your life. You should be able to hold yourself accountable in love. You should be able to hold yourself accountable in fitness. You should be able to hold yourself accountable with the people that you care about the most. Think of the person that is looking to improve their fitness. They're looking to get in shape. Again, there's 2 people here. Person A, person B, they're both overweight and they both know they need to make a change. But person A claims their genetics, claims the fact that they don't have the time to go to the gym. They claim that it's just a matter of the fact that they just feel so tired. They're working so hard that they don't have the ability to dedicate themselves to the gym. Person B is in the same boat. Maybe he's even more busy, but they understand that it is only in their hands, that only they have the power to be able to affect this monumentous change that they have in their life. So all of a sudden, they carve out that extra hour. Maybe they sacrifice a time with friends. Maybe they sacrifice some sleep to be able to get to the gym in the morning. They understand that this is within their control. Then when it comes to food, maybe now all of a sudden, they're not going out as much. They're not eating out as much. They understand that the more that they eat out, the more that they indulge in these foods, that the deeper down the rabbit hole they're going. So they're willing to sacrifice that, to go through the pain of not eating the foods that they want, be able to hold themselves accountable towards a diet that's going to get them towards their goal. And then when it comes to their actual fitness regimen, if they don't show up to the gym, if they miss a day, they're able to hold themselves accountable to say, I was not able to go today. How could I do this to myself? How am I someone that says that I'm going to do something and I'm going to stick to it, but I can't even stick to this basic regimen? They hold themselves to a standard that is not willing to accept anything less than 100%. And they're willing to call themselves out. They're not waiting for someone else to be accountable to, but they're willing to call themselves out when they fall short. In relationships, it's important for us to hold ourselves accountable. In a relationship, especially when you have 2 people coming to the table, it can be so easy to always see things from your own point of view. If someone has done you dirty or someone has done you wrong, you might only be able to look at it from that point of view of, oh, I'm a victim here. I was done wrong by this person. This person betrayed me. This person did X, Y, Z. But what if there's a part of you that had actually created and facilitated that interaction to happen? Where it falls on the spectrum, whether you allowed it or whether you just didn't see it from their point of view, at the end of the day, the accountability always falls on your shoulders. If you're in a toxic situation with a friend or with an intimate partner, ask yourself, why do I value myself so little that I'm allowing myself to happen? And at the same time, you might also have to ask yourself, am I the person that might be bringing a negativity to this interaction? Being able to evaluate yourself and to remove yourself from the victim mentality allows you to create more prosperous relationships that can take everyone's needs into account. This is the importance here. It's not about always playing the savior or always playing the victim. It's always about being balanced in your approach, being able to see things for what they are, not as you would like them to be. Next, we have to discuss not only holding yourself accountable, but the Stoics were also great at holding others accountable within reason. Sure, they say strict with yourself, lenient with others, but that doesn't mean to be lenient in a way that allows chaos to happen. You should be able and willing to hold others accountable, not as a punishment to them, but as a way to help them grow. to help them improve, to help them see the shortcomings in themselves. When you're able to sit someone aside and for yourself to go through a difficult situation, a conflicting situation, to have an honest and frank conversation with them, to say, this is what I think you can improve. This is how we can improve it. You're giving them the gift of improvement. You're willing to go through that pain. You're not being a coward. You're not hiding behind your own need to be liked, your own need to not offend someone, because you want what is best for them and you're willing to do what is best for them. They say what is best for the bee is best for the beehive. So when you're able to do something that is the best possible outcome for the person in front of you, it's the best possible outcome for everyone involved. And this is the importance, being able to separate your own needs from the collective needs and being able to create and to do something that is the best for the collective. You avoiding conflict with someone because you don't want to hold them accountable, because you don't want to feel that tinge of pain, is cowardice. It's not good for you and it's not good for the person, it's not good for the collective. Seneca famously quotes that every man is guilty of the good that he did not do. And what this shows us is that even in our best of times, we can always do more. We can always be better. We can always speak with more clarity. We can always speak with more compassion. We can always be more understanding. And it's not about achieving or reaching an ideal that is impossible. It's about asking ourselves, pulling deep into ourselves and trying to pull out the very best of what we have to offer and to always be willing to go that much deeper. So yes, we are guilty of the things the good that we did not do, even though we may not know that we might not have done it. And that is number one. It's about being aware of our shortcomings and where we fall short, and to be willing to expand our horizons as much as we can, to be willing to listen to others, to listen to differing points of view, and to be willing to put our ego aside and to hold ourselves accountable for our own personal growth. Even someone who is the smartest, the most successful, the most great with the people around him can always get better. The second they stop, they tell themselves that I no longer have the need to improve, I'm content with where I'm at, is the second they become guilty of the good that they are not going to do. And this is what that quote tells us. It tells us to hold ourselves accountable, not only for the successes that we have, but also the potential successes that we could have that we're not willing to see because we're blinded by our own ego and the position that we currently hold. So how does one hold someone else accountable? What I personally like to do is I like to have many touch bases. I'll give you an example of what I like to do in my own business. I run a unique set of meetings in the morning and at the end of the day where I go through with my team, person by person, in an all hands meeting. And we look at all of the tasks that we need to do during the day. So we set expectations for the day and we say that these are the tasks that must be completed by XYZ date. And at the end of the day, I hold them accountable. I am willing to go through these tasks and see what has been done. Has it been done to standard? Has it been delayed? If so, why has it been delayed? Could you have controlled this? And in a scenario in which they could have done more, they could have performed better, and they did not do what was asked of them within the right reason, I'm willing to sit them down, to hold them accountable, and to make sure that their wrongs get corrected. And this is part of that conflict that you must be willing to go through at all times in all areas of your life to achieve what is best for the beehive, not only what is best for the bee.